She was born Norma Jean Mortensen Baker in 1926 in Los Angeles. A fragile child with a stormy upbringing, passed from orphanage to foster home, shaped not by comfort, but by longing. Marilyn's mother, Gladys Pearl Baker, worked as a film cutter at RKO Pictures, handling reels and dreams in the early 20s. During Marilyn's early childhood, her mother worshipped Hollywood king Clark Gable. So in homage to the MGM star, the walls of their home were abundantly decorated with Clarky's photos and posters. Marilyn married young, at just 16, to James Dougherty in 1943. The war had pulled men overseas, and women like Norma Jean filled the factories. In 1944, while working at a munitions plant, her smile caught the eye of a military photographer. That moment sparked a transformation. By 1945, she signed with the Blue Book modeling agency. Blonde hair, a new name, Marilyn Monroe. In 1946, Darryl Zanuck signed her to 20th Century Fox, but her early roles were fleeting. She moved to Columbia Pictures in 1948 under Harry Cohn and starred in Ladies of the Chorus, a modest film that failed to ignite. Out of work again, she returned to modeling, posing nude for photographer Tom Kelly. The photos, innocent and daring, would resurface years later. But behind the glamour, she was persistent. She charmed Johnny Hyde of the William Morris Agency. Hyde championed her career, landing her parts in two pivotal films in 1950, The Asphalt Jungle by John Huston and All About Eve by Joseph Mankiewicz. That same year, Hyde secured her a 7-year contract with Fox. Her screen time grew, and so did the fascination. By 1952, she met Joe DiMaggio, the baseball legend. Their romance, like the film she was now headlining, was front-page news. Clash by Night, Don't Bother to Knock, We're Not Married, and then Niagara, where the camera lingered on her as much as the audience did. But fame brings friction. Tensions with Fox mounted. Her 1953 calendar photos, once hidden, reappeared in the debut issue of Playboy, launched by a young Hugh Hefner. Marilyn hadn't given permission, but the world didn't care. She became the face and body of a new era. Then came the explosion. Gentlemen Prefer Blondes and How to Marry a Millionaire. She wasn't just a star, she was the constellation. In early 1954, fresh from her honeymoon in Japan with DiMaggio, she made an unscheduled detour, a 4-day trip to Korea, performing 10 shows for over 100,000 US troops. The stage was makeshift, the cold was bitter, but she dazzled. In front of the soldiers, in a purple halter dress under freezing skies, she sang her heart out. It was one of the few moments in her life when she felt truly loved by an audience, without scripts or filters. But things soured at home. The 7-year itch shot New York, with Billy Wilder behind the camera, and the now legendary subway great scene, lit the screen and doomed her marriage. DiMaggio couldn't bear her fame. She found solace in reinvention. She settled in New York, founded her own production company with Milton Green, and studied acting seriously. She took drama classes at the Actor Studios, run by Lee and Paula Strasberg. Marilyn the icon became Marilyn the artist. She had a brief liaison with Marlon Brando, but it was playwright Arthur Miller who captured her. They married in 1956, and she converted to Judaism. She threw herself into her new husband's world, drama, activism, and serious art. Her later roles showed surprising depth. Bus Stop, The Prince and the Showgirl with Laurence Olivier. And in 1958, she reunited with Billy Wilder for Some Like It Hot. The set was chaotic. She was late, forgetful, fragile, but the result, iconic. A comedy masterpiece. Diamonds sparkle through the fog. Next came Let's Make Love, a musical comedy that paired her with French star Yves Montand. While Yves' wife, famous French star Simone Signoret, flew to London, and Arthur Miller was working in New York. Marilyn and Yves, neighbors at the Beverly Hills Hotel, became closer than the script required. It was an affair of shadows and longing. Her connection with Sinatra and the Rat Pack grew. She was friends with Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., Peter Lawford. Sinatra liked Marilyn and often called her my protege. She was considered for breakfast at Tiffany's, but the studio feared her instability. Audrey Hepburn took the role. Meanwhile, Arthur Miller was writing The Misfits as a gift, or a goodbye. Directed by John Huston and co-starring Clark Gable and Montgomery Clift, it was filmed in the Nevada desert under a haze of alcohol, pills, and unraveling dreams. 12 days after the wrap, Gable died of a heart attack. In 1962, she began Something's Got to Give with Dean Martin and Sid Charisse, a remake of My Favorite Wife. The production halted as tensions rose with director George Cukor. Marilyn vanished, then returned, resplendent, reborn. She shot the now infamous nude pool scene. Fox fired her, then rehired her. That May, she traveled to Washington to sing for President John F. Kennedy's birthday at Madison Square Garden Gala. She wore a skin-tight dress covered in rhinestones, which made her appear as if she were nude. The evening's master of ceremonies was Peter Lawford, the president's brother-in-law, and a prominent member of Frank Sinatra's Rat Pack. Marilyn was, as always, late. As Peter Lawford kept the fun going with a few jokes, finally Marilyn arrived, and Lawford made this premonitory announcement. And now, the late Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn breathy, happy birthday, Mr. President rippled through history. It's cinematic irony at its finest.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Rumors of affairs with both John and Bobby Kennedy danced in hushed tones. Lawford, the Rat Pack's Hollywood connector, became entangled in her final days. His home was allegedly wiretapped. There are whispers she recorded phone calls, evidence still sealed. Who knows? Back in Hollywood, she finally bought her dream home in Brentwood. But instead of retreating, she took flight again, this time to Mexico. There, she wandered through markets, met with local artists, and sought inspiration to decorate her new house. She visited film sets, encouraged young actors, and even shared tequila and laughter with the legendary director Emilio Fernandez and actress Columba Dominguez. There was talk of a romance with a young Mexican screenwriter named Jose Bolaños. They were seen together at parties, smiling, whispering. Marilyn looked vibrant, alive. Her spirit, it seemed, was ready for a new beginning. But on August 5th, she was found dead. Pills emptied beside her, an enema bag at her side. The cause? Overdose? Suicide? Or something darker? Her psychiatrist, Dr. Greenson, is said to have administered a fatal dose. Some claim Kennedy family members were present that day. Others report tapes taped her final moments. We know nothing for sure. Her funeral was orchestrated by Joe DiMaggio, who barred Hollywood and the Rat Pack from attending. Peter Lawford never recovered. Sinatra stayed away. Marilyn didn't just wish to be wonderful. She was willing to risk everything on that illusion. Fame, love, art, and darkness. Her myth isn't just her life, it's the questions she left behind. The tapes we haven't heard, the letters unseen, the theories unspoken. More than 60 years later, she still lingers, in film strips and in fevered dreams. Because Marilyn Monroe doesn't just belong to history, she belongs to mystery. And yet, Marilyn never really left. She remains, a luminous illusion flickering in time. So tonight, Classic Cool remembers her. Not with headlines, not with rumors, but with a song. This one's for you, Marilyn.
Spotlights fade, the night grows slow. A hush falls over the studio. They say she left without a sound, but some like it hot still plays around. Just Marilyn, 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 shooby-doo, zoot, zoot, zoot. A white dress caught the subway breeze. Marilyn, Marilyn, do-a-could-dee. She danced through hearts with practiced ease. 7 years went by so fast, but nothing golden ever lasts. Behind the glow, a silent fight. Norma cried alone that night. Gentlemen prefer the dream, but life's not always what it seems. A misfit soul in Hollywood. Let's make love if only we could. Marilyn, 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 shoo-ba-doo, swoops and swing. Lips like champagne, eyes that sting. Marilyn, Marilyn, zoot, zoot, zoo, ba-ba-zee, bling. Gone before the final scene. But every August night we know we still feel Marilyn's glow. Shoo-be-doo, Marilyn, we miss you so. Caught the subway breeze. Marilyn, Marilyn, ba-da-zoo-wah, do-wah-could-dee. She danced through hearts with practiced ease.